Hello, everybody, and welcome to week number 8 of the VBA Poke Center updates. I am here with Leaf, whose camera keeps trying to fall off the side of his desks, and I'm in Bikini Bottom today. I'm just hanging out with the Bob. I'm just saying, but we're gonna bring you guys the games. Unfortunately, there will be no playoff update or Spice of the Week this week, so look forward to the return of those hopefully next week. As we go into week 9 and then week 10. In week 10, of course, the end of the season, and that only means one thing. The end of the season awards going to be the regular season awards, not counting the playoffs. And once again, voted on by me. So it's esteemed judges on those ones. But let's get right into it here. First game, we have the Tyrannotars and the Stunfisk, 6-1 versus 4-3. I'm really sad this game wasn't recorded. These first 3, there was no recordings of. But 52 kills to 56. Asmoril, Minshao, 80%, 55. I imagine this was a very good game. Tyrannotars with the highest game win percentage in the league going into this game actually dropped the set 2-1 to the Stunfisk, so fantastic job by Curry keeping his playoff run alive and taking out the top dog, kind of showing a little bit of dominance. I really wish this one was out there, though. I would have really enjoyed seeing this one this week, because I think it was probably
He had a chance to meme on him, like he memed on Krabby last week, showing his dog up on the screen. I mean, the dog was the best part. Like, honestly, like, stream more dog, bro. Just open Twitch and just let the dog play Pokemon.
So, some people do that. Some people do that. But yeah, this would have been a fantastic game, unfortunately. If there is a hidden recording somewhere, drop it. I want to see it. Our next one, we have the Sableyes versus the Berserkers. We got 5-2, 2-5, 45 kills, 34. Indeedee female, Arcanine, 65 and 31. We really need Ruby to get the capture card all settled back in, because I would love to see some of these. I really like watching Ruby play. Ruby won this one 2-0 against the Berserkers. So Ruby also keeping playoff hopes alive now with 6 wins, so might be in there now. I'm not too sure, but hopefully he's in there. And the final one, this one was on Twitch, but I don't know if the VOD was recorded. I had forgotten to check, so sorry about that. So we got the 5-2 Minchinos versus the 3-4 Flareons, 37 kills, 41. Swampert, Dracovish, 31%, 44%. And we see the Flareons take this one 2-1. Leaf had mentioned to me that this game was replayed because of a DC. So there you go. Congratulations to the Flareons. Probably
very well played on both sides. I do have to say it was actually a really good match to watch.
Fair enough, but Flareons probably had to sleep on the couch that night, so you take them when you get them. This one cost me everything. So those are the games that weren't recorded, unfortunately. Once again, would love to see more of those. So maybe in the future we can get a few more capture cards into people's hands, and then we can see a lot more videos. But going into the next one, the first one we have the Kinglers versus the Dragons. We got the 2-5 versus 2-5, 44-29. The second lowest in the league, I believe. Primarina, Hitmontop, 35% to 29. The fall of the Kinglers from being a 2-0 to 2-5 has been pretty dramatic, but in this one, we see Gourgeist, Scizor, Primarina, Garchomp versus Dragapult, Hitmontop, Dracozolt, and Glaceon. So a pretty even matchup on paper here, but we see the Hitmontop pretty early getting a kill on this Gourgeist, just clicking triple axle, which did not work out for me season 1. And it's working out here for Leaf in season number 3, or not Leaf, the Dragons in season number 3, killing the Gourgeist, then killing the Garchomp before the Dragapult actually goes down to the Scizor. Dragapult has been absolute cheeks this season. I thought it was going to be the number 1 Pokemon, but it has proven to be overhyped, I guess. And Primarina killing the Hitmontop, so it was looking a little dire. It was down to 2-2, but the Dracozolt is able to come in, kill the Scizor, and Glaceon picking up the Primarina to end the game for a 2-0 for the Dragons in Game 1. game 2, we see Frostlass, Gourgeist, Garchomp, Primarina. So changing up a little bit with that Frostlass versus Sharpedo, Hitmontop, Glaceon, and I don't know if you knew who the last Pokemon was, but we didn't even get to see it. So as the Dragons...
He told me, but I forgot.
As the Dragons do kind of sweep this one, Frostlass does take out a Sharpedo after the Primarina goes down to Sharpedo, but besides that, it was just domination by this Hitmontop. Hitmontop getting 4 kills in this one. I believe they were all just like triple axles, but I could be wrong. This was like 5 days ago I watched this. So 3-0, and the Dragons keep this one 2-0, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Can you believe that? Playoff hopes for the Dragons here.
They're coming out of nowhere, man.
But man, this decline by the Kinglers, I don't know what happened. They're playing so well the first few weeks, and it just seems after that, it just kind of, took a kind of a nosedive, So
it happens. I've been there.
Yeah. I mean, my whole season last season was a nosedive, so, it happens.
I don't think Hawks missed a single triple axle this season. I'm just going to put it out there. Even though he hasn't won all of his games, I think he hasn't missed a single triple axle. Week
1, he did, because I remember going, that's why I wouldn't pick Hitmontop in the top, because he missed the triple axle to lose the game. And the Hitmontop scarred me, because I could have had 2 extra wins in the season 1 because of triple axle, but it's all right. I'm not salty. It's fine. It's all right. All right, our next game that we have up is we have the Grimmsnarls versus the Delmise, 4-3 versus 1-6, 50 kills, 37. Asmorel, Pinurchant, 63% and 29. And we see the Grimmsnarls lead Hitmonchan, Cinderace with Bisharp, Asmorel in the back versus Talonflame, Hydreigon, Hitmonlee, and Pinurchant. So still not changing it up for the Delmise, and it seems the results remain the same as we see Hitmonchan pick up Hydreigon, Hitmonlee, and Pinurchant, with Asmorel picking up the Talonflame and Cinderace killing himself via recoil. But the Cinderace did live on 3 from a Brave Bird. That could have changed the game completely, but it might have been too late at that point anyways. But it was pretty cool to see that it survived just with that, and then killed itself via the recoil. So and Pinurchant's the only one who picked up a kill on the Delmise's side, picking up the Asmorel. Grimmsnarls taking this one 2-0. And game 2, we see Hitmonchan, Asmorel, Bisharp, Cinderace, so the exact same 4 versus Hitmonlee, Talonflame, Pinurchant, Hydreigon. Same exact teams, different orders. But once again, we see this Hitmonchan just taking names and just doing absolute work. And the Grimmsnarls take it 2-0 with Hitmonchan being the MVP. The last game, Hitmontop was the MVP, so we got 2 Hitmons being MVPs 2 games in a row here. Hitmonchan probably the biggest surprise Pokemon for me, besides Starmie in this season, because
I'm gonna have to give it to Starmie and Starmie only.
Yo, you just did a fast forward thing, and it was creepy, bro. And I don't know if you're real anymore. I'm just saying.
No, I'm gonna have to give it to Starmie and Starmie only. I think Hitmon was gonna be great off the bat. I knew he was coming in hot.
Yeah, I think Starmie still takes it for sure, but the last few weeks since I gave that midseason MVP to Starmie, he hasn't really shown up. Just saying. We'll see if he shows up.
Everyone's prepping for him now.
That's true, because they watched that video and they're like, oh wait, he's been good? All right, hold on. So going into our next game, we'll see Starmie later on, so we'll see. But Grimmsnarls win that one, and our next one is we have the Guzzlords versus Rebellion. 0-7 versus 6-1, 45 kills, 56, Excadrill, Dragonite, 22-63. That Rebellion train coming into town today on the Guzzlords. We see Mr. Rhyme, Sneasel, Gigalith, and Excadrill from the Guzzlords versus Blastoise, Togepi, Malamar, and Dragonite. And this Togepi dies to the Mr. Rhyme pretty early on, but Blastoise is able to take out Gigalith. Malamar take out Mr. Rhyme, Sneasel gets taken out by Blastoise, and Malamar takes out Excadrill. Clinical by the Rebellion in Game 1, 0-3 to the Rebellion. Going into Game 2, we got Braviary, Alcremie Mr. Rhyme Excadrill versus Whimsicott, Relicanth, Malamar, and Togepi. So bringing pretty much the same core with the Togepi, Malamar kind of stuff. But this game went much, much different. As we said before, Guzzlord's the best Game 2 team in the whole league. We see the Alcremie take out the Relicanth. After that kills the Braviary. Then it takes out Malamar. Then it takes out Togepi. And Mr. Rhyme ends it by taking out the Whimsicott. Giving a 3-0 to the Guzzlords in Game 2. Turning it around. I thought this was going to start with Alcremie just going for Choice Scarf Decorate. I didn't look at the sets. So Choice Scarf Decorate onto Braviary, and I was like, that's kind of spicy, but that's not what happened. So it was a little bit interesting to see that it was a little bit different than that. But going into Game 3, we see Braviary, Alcremie, Mr. Rhyme, Excadrill, so the exact same set versus the Relicanth, Blastoise, Malamar, and Whimsicott. So changing up a little bit, bringing back that Blastoise, but it wasn't enough as Braviary is able to kill the Relicanth after Relicanth kills Alcremie. Then Mr. Rhyme takes out Whimsicott. Then Braviary takes out Malamar. Dies to its own recoil, but Mr. Rhyme is able to close out the Blastoise. Excadrill didn't even have to do anything. Guzzlord's finally closing out a game and taking the victory over Rebellion in this one. This was a really good game to watch. It was, yeah. And Guzzlord's reactions are always pretty funny. So.
If there's 1 week to win, it's against this team.
Yeah. I mean, Rebellion dropping games. I mean, I don't know, man. The train was on, but the train might have got off the tracks a little bit. I don't know. Two weeks in a row, I believe that's losses. So, are they just trying to get a lower seed? Maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know.
They don't want to show off all their spicy techs, bro.
Yeah, they're just going for standard stuff, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. I think they're gonna have to pick up another win though to like secure a pretty good spot. I think just staying at the 6 might make you have to face a better team later on. So we'll see if they'll be able to pick up another one. But they're dropping a little bit. But congratulations to the Guzzlords for picking up their first win. And yeah, they have so many kills with no wins. So now it's nice to see that they finally picked one up. Our next game, we have the Drapions versus the Weezings. We have 3 and 4 versus 4 and 3, 50 to 55. Togekiss, Dracozolt, 44 to 56. So pretty even matchup here. We see Torracat, Dragapult, Maractus, Obstagoon for the Drapions versus Dusknoir, Tangrowth, Gardevoir, and Gigalith. And this one, the Gardevoir switches in pretty early, takes out the Dragapult, and then the Gigalith just goes off as Dusknoir does go down to Torracat, but Gigalith takes out Torracat, Maractus, and Obstagoon all pretty much in a row, just absolutely annihilating here. Oh, the MVP of the last game was Alcremie as well, because it got pretty good amount of kills. So 3-0 to the Weezings on this one. Next game, we have Torracat, Obstagoon, Maractus, Lucario, so changing up, bringing the Lucario, versus Dusknoir, Tangrowth, Gardevoir, and Gigalith. And yeah, they seem like the Drapions were able to adjust pretty well to this one, with Torracat being able to do some work, and Obstagoon actually dying pretty early on to its self-burn because it was Guts. Was kind of funny, but Maractus picks up Gardevoir and then dies to Dusk, and then we see the self-burn death. Where's killed number 3? Okay, Dusknoir picks up Maractus as number 3. And then we see Torracat picked up Dusk. It was like back and forth. There was a lot of switching, and there was a lot of mons coming in and taking damage. Lucario picks up Gigalith, and Torracat ends it by taking out Tangrowth. So Torracat doing a lot of work in this one. People forget, I think, how fast Torracat is because of how slow Incineroar is. But Torracat, I believe, is 95 base speed, which is very high, and can do a lot of different things than what can be done by Incineroar. So then we had Slowbro, Maractus, Lucario, Torracat. So bring in the Slowbro this time versus Melodic, Dracozolt, Gigalith, and Tangrowth. That Melodic, the top kill leader, or in the top kill leader the whole season. But we see the Gigalith pick up Slowbro, Maractus, and then we see Dracozolt get a kill on Maractus and Lucario. or no, the Gigalith dies to Maractus, and the Dracozolt picks up Maractus, Torracat, and Lucario, all in a row there. Picking up the win for the Weezings, 3-0 in the third game, 2-1 victory over to the Weezings, keeping their playoff hopes alive as well. So keeping battling for that spot, now going up to 5, and the Drapions kind of slipping away. I don't know if they're still in the picture, but yeah, they lost a little bit of ground there. So that was a good game. Definitely go watch that one.
Yeah, it was solid.
Our next game here is we have the Binnacles versus the Kids. So 4-3 versus 1-6, 51 kills to 28. Pelipper Dracovish, 58 to 25 game win percentage. Game 1, we see Persian Cinderace Lucario Rotom for the Binnacles versus Oranguru Palisand Double and Dracovish. And this was a very close game here, as the Double does get set up, and despite it being a 2-0 for the Binnacles at the end, it was actually closer. I thought you were gonna win it. like I thought you had it, and then it was just like one turn that was just like, oh dang it, that was the turning point. But we see Cinderace pick up the Oranguru pretty early on, before the Double actually picks up the Cinderace right after that, and then we see the Palisand get killed by Lucario, and then Double picks up Lucario, and then we see the Dracovish die to the Rotom, which did way too much damage, and the Double gets killed by the Persian in the race to the end there. So he is able to take this one 2-0. And game 2, we see Rotom, Cinderace, Lucario, Persian versus Brion, Obstagoon, Oranguru, Palisand. And now this was a little bit spicy right here, because you had the instruct, hyper voice on the Brion, so you were just kind of spreading that damage. Even though it only got one kill, it killed Cinderace pretty early on, it still did damage, enough chip damage for other Pokemon to pick it up in the end. As we see that, and then we see Oranguru go down to Lucario, and Brion go down to Lucario, leaving Obstagoon and Palisand is able to pick up the last 3, picking up Lucario, picking up Rotom, and picking up Persian all in a row there, giving you a 2-0 in this one. It was a very nice game, but alas,
Game 3 don't matter. Game 3 don't count.
In Game 3, we see Persian, Lucario, Marowak, Rotom, and we see Persian click the beat up button, and then we see Lucario just pressing whatever buttons he wanted, because he's just gonna one-shot everything at that point. And we see Oranguru go down, we see Brion go down, Palisand, and then finally Obstagoon, and a 4-0 to the Binnacles. A good adjustment by the Binnacles to lead with that, seeing that you were going with a little bit of a slower team, that maybe they'd be able to take advantage of that. So yeah, good win for them, 2-1. But you put up a heck of a fight. So
it was actually funny. I was running Iron Ball on the Double, and I kind of was assuming that he was bringing, switcheroo or whatever with the Rotom, and I was hoping he would get the Iron Ball on the Rotom so I could hit it with Palo, but
he never.
It didn't happen. He told me he was going to. He told me he specifically brought it for that. Yeah. But he last minute decided not to. He ended up getting a berry from I forget what, but yeah, it was good. It was a good game.
Yeah, it was good. Fun. Lucario was the MVP. Got a 7K in that one, so all credit to Lucario in that one. Our next game here is the Bashers versus the Smokers. Smokers been kind of hot recently. 5-2 Bashers, 3-4 Smokers, 49 kills, 37. Rillaboom, Sableye, 69 nice percentages, and 44 on the other side. And game 1, what a game. Definitely go watch this one, this game 1, if you're going to watch one game this week. We had Kangaskhan, Aerodactyl, Klotzer, and Rillaboom versus Sableye, Primarina, Nidoking, and Corviknight. And we see a lot of switching early on. There's a lot of positioning and everything. And we see Klotzer take out Primarina and Nidoking, and then Rillaboom take out Sableye, and that's kind of where the train stopped for the Bashers, as this Corviknight gets set up with bulk up and able to just overpower everything happening on the other side. It's down to Corviknight, and he ends up taking out first he takes out the Aerodactyl, then he takes out the Clawitzer, and then he takes out the Kangaskhan, and then it's just him and the Rillaboom, but only one of them has reliable recovery. So it actually ends on time, as the Bashers do run out of time, but I think it was kind of inevitable at that point. There's nothing really Rillaboom could do to really combat this Corviknight at the end of the day. So 1-1 to the Smokers because of the time in game 1. Game 2, we see Aerodactyl, Kangaskhan, Magmortar, Rillaboom, so bringing that Magmortar to kind of counter that Corviknight. And then we see Sableye, Volcarona, Nidoking, and Corviknight on the other side. And the Aerodactyl is able to take out the Sableye pretty early on, but Magmortar comes in, takes out Volcarona, takes out Corviknight, and takes out the Nidoking, so giving them the 3-0 victory, as Nidoking also does pick up the Aerodactyl near the end too. But this Magmortar, big adjustment by the Bashers to kind of counter the team, so doing a good job there doing that. Game 3, we have Rillaboom, Aerodactyl, Clawitzer, and Magmortar, so bringing the Clawitzer this time over the Kangaskhan. And we see the Primarina, Sawk, Nidoking, and Corviknight, so kind of changing it up, the whole thing by the Smokers, and it just didn't work out. As we see Aerodactyl pick up Sawk, Rillaboom picks up Nidoking and Primarina, and Magmortar just comes in to do what he needs to do, which is pick up that Corviknight. So really good adjustments by the Bashers, with the Smokers not being able to make that same adjustment. Tried to with the Primarina, but maybe leading it was the mistake there, allowing it to take some early damage, because it's going to be doubled up every single time pretty much. So maybe that could have been the adjustment that was made there. But 3-0 to the Bashers, 2-0 in the game, Magmortar being the MVP, of course, because they countered the one thing that he couldn't counter otherwise. So congratulations to the Bashers. Now maybe securing their playoff spot, but the Smokers still battling for it. I think they could still make it, but they're definitely going to have to work for it.
It's so crazy that this late in the season that there's still people that aren't like clear cut. It's so crazy.
Yeah. I'm not fully following the playoff picture because I get so confused. I'm like, well, if this that's why we need Rhett. We need Rhett's on top of it. He's the genius behind all that. So he'll be able to tell us next week, hopefully, what's happening with that. All right, our next game here is we have the Spoinks versus the Weasels. We have 5-2 versus 6-1, 59 kills to 45. Weasels have 45 kills with 1 win. That's crazy. Ninetales versus Incineroar, 61% to 33. And we see the Spoinks go Mandibuzz, Shiinotic. I'm happy to see the Shiinotic. Gyarados and Ninetales, of course, the two that have been brought the most by the Spoinks. Versus Raichu, Escavalier, Politoed, and Kingdra. Pretty much the lineup the Weasels have been using since week 1. They kind of switched it up a couple of weeks, but this is pretty much their base set here. And we do see the Shiinotic actually died to the Kingdra pretty early on, as that Rain team does switch in. Ninetales picks up the Kingdra, but Escavalier goes down to Mandibuzz. We see the foul play go into the Escavalier, and it does so much damage to this boy. Like, it's kind of crazy how much this Mandibuzz is doing to it, and it's a huge threat in that way. Politoed does pick up the Ninetales, and Mandibuzz is able to pick up the Politoed, and Gyarados cleans off the Raichu, giving a 2-0 to the Spoinks in Game 1. Game 2, we see Mandibuzz, Shiinotic, Gyarados, and Ninetales versus Incineroar, Carbink, Escavalier, and Politoed. Nothing could stop this Gyarados in this game. I mean, this is I'm a switching Gyarados turn 1 and kind of win this game kind of game, and that's exactly what happened, as Gyarados comes in, kills Carbink, kills Incineroar, kills Escavalier, and Mandibuzz picks up the Politoed at the end, and a 4-0 clean sweep by the Spoinks in game number 2. So no adjustment really made by the Weasels going into that game 2. They had really nothing besides that Raichu for the Gyarados, and they decided not to bring it. They brought the Politoed instead. I think maybe going Incin, Carbink, Escavalier, Raichu would have been a better choice for them in that second game, because it does do well against the Mandibuzz and the Gyarados, and it's okay against the Ninetales. So I don't know, maybe that could have been the adjustment. It would have been a little bit better, but it's all hindsight stuff. So, yeah, Spoinks increasing their chance of making the playoffs. Most likely in now. Weasels, I believe, are out. I don't think they can make it anymore. Going into the 8th game, we have the Tricos versus the Steel Types. I was very excited to watch this one. We had the 6-1 versus the 4-3, 55 kills to 39. See, Steel Types have 4 wins, 39 kills, and the Weasels have more kills. It's crazy how many kills the Weasels have. Vikavolt versus Incineroar. I'm glad to see Vikavolt as like the most pro Pokemon. 75% to 50%. We see Garchomp, Charizard, Carbink, and Absol. So 2 straight games with Carbink, of course, being brought by the other team in the other game. Haxorus, Sceptile, Incineroar, Weezing. Pretty early on, we see the Haxorus pick up the Carbink, which was a nice little kill there. But the Weezing goes down to the Charizard. This Charizard was doing so much damage to this Weezing. And then we see the Garchomp pick up the Incineroar, pick up the Haxorus, and then the Charizard finish up the Sceptile, giving a 2-0 here to the Tricos, doing some work in that first game with that Charizard. Garchomp kind of, I don't want to call it, well, it was the lead, but kind of those two. Absol, I don't even believe came in, so the Steel Types wouldn't have had that information, which was good for the Tricos, but they decided not to bring it. We got Meowstic, Garchomp, Carbink, Charizard game 2 versus Haxorus, Incineroar, Sceptile, Jellicent. So I think it was a pretty good change up for the Steel Types, bringing that Incineroar early to get that Intimidate off. But much of the same happened. Incineroar actually picks up the Meowstic on turn 1 as Jellicent comes in and, or Sceptile comes in and actually dies to Carbink. Carbink is setting up here for a very light sweep, and it does just that, as Jellicent picks up Garchomp and picks up Charizard a little bit later, but not before Carbink also picks up Incineroar. So now Carbink has Incineroar and Sceptile, and now it's down to Jellicent, Carbink. That is it. And unfortunately for the Steel Types, Calm Mind is just too much, and Carbink is able to pick up the Jellicent, and yeah, Carbink getting a 3K, and I gave him the MVP. It was a 1-0 victory in that second game. It was very fun to watch, but Carbink definitely the MVP in this one. Crazy. 3 kills by Carbink. You love to see it. Congratulations to the Trico, taking their top spot back for best win percentage and stuff, all that stuff. So our last game of the week is probably the biggest game of the week. We have the Arcanines versus the Greninja, 6-1 to 5-3, 52 kills to 48. Liepard, Togekiss, 68% to 67. That game win percentage, so close to each other right there. As we see the Arcanines lead Aromatisse, Liepard, Berserker, Arctovish versus Indeedee Male, Starmie, Scrafty, and Audino. And listen, Greninjas, listen, okay? I told you. Audino is butt. And I said it when you got Audino, okay? You don't have to try to prove me right every week, all right? It's fine. You can leave Audino out your team. All right, it's fine. It's not a big deal. All right, but we see the Starmie actually pick up the Liepard in game 1. Arctovish comes in, picks up Scrafty. And then we see the Starmie go down to the Aromatisse. And then Arctovish picks up Audino. And then Indeedee comes in and actually picks up the Arctovish, but Berserker is too much next to this Aromatisse and picks up the Indeedee. 2-0 to the Arcanines, where Audino did absolutely nothing. And then we see Aromatisse, Indeedee female, Berserker, and Arctovish versus Indeedee male, Scrafty, Audino, and Starmie. The Starmie comes in and gets his revenge against this Aromatisse, getting a kill on it, but not before Audino just instantly goes down to Indeedee. Which was terrible. And then we see the Indeedee come in and actually die to Indeedee as well, and Arctovish picks up Scrafty to end the game pretty quickly. 3-0 with Starmie picking up the only kill, and 2-0 for the Arcanines, asserting their dominance atop of the Kanto division once again by their lonesome after the Tyrantars do lose. So yeah, that was all the games this week. There's some pretty good games. A lot of lopsided games as well. So
all I'm gonna say is I think the reason Sasori dying off is because he doesn't use the logo that I made for him last season anymore. And Dan Stout Gaming, the Arcanines coach, is the top of the league, and he is using a logo that I made him. So just like, I'm just saying, think about that for next season, guys.
I
You
mean,
know,
that's actual evidence right there, right? I mean, if you take all of the players that are using your logo and you find out the game win percentage, I mean, I think it's going to be brought down a lot by you and the Guzzlers, but I think it's fine. It's fine. Hawk is coming back up. He's giving you some more victories on your logos.
Hawk's getting some insane wins now that he's, in this format. Like I said he would. I told you he's a contender. Trunks have kind of been popping off, except for this week. I made Trunkses. Like, I'm just saying, guys. Just saying.
I mean, can't dispute it without proven facts. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it for the whole week. Once again, we're not having any playoff discussion from Rhett this week, unfortunately, or any of the spice of the week because of life. Life happens. It's kind of a weird time right now, especially in the Northeast. We got snow. School just started for you. I was sick. So this is why this is all coming out so late, because it's Northeast sucks. Don't come up.
I've already started picking plays for next week though, so it'll definitely be back. I've already started picking out plays.
I haven't even watched next week. Arceus just came out. Your boy is absorbed at the moment, so we'll see how that goes.
Yu-Gi-Oh's been out. Your boy's kind of still absorbed at the moment.
That's true too. I was sick and Yu-Gi-Oh came out, so I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna sit on the couch on my laptop playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, what else am I gonna do, bro? If you're not playing Duel Masters, definitely go play Duel Masters. It's really good. You can get a lot of gems for free. Hashtag not sponsored, but if you'd like to sponsor us, Master Duels. Sorry, it's Master Duels. Hit us up.
Hashtag also please sponsor so that we can send Ruby out a capture card.
So we can send everybody out a capture. Elgato, listen, all right? This is the next big draft league right here, Elgato. But we need to hook our boys up. There's like 5 people in the league that don't have capture cards. Let's hook them up, man. Let's get them.
Elgato, if you're hearing this, please. I need a new light. I need a second light.
I need a first light. All right. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. A lot shorter than normal, but we'll be back next week, and in a couple of weeks, we'll be back for the Week 10 award show. So, yeah, you guys stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.